Hi class, how are you doing? Welcome to week 4. I just wanted to check in with you and go over a few things from your assignment from last week and then cover a few things for this week. First of all, I wanted to kind of reminisce with your assignment last week of go and introduce yourself to somebody random and then reflect on it. And for those of you whose assignments I've already read, I'm about halfway through the class. It seems like most of them went very well, and they were not awkward, and they seemed to be just genuine. Hi, how are you? I'd like to get to know you. Some of you have said that you've met the person again or seen the person again on campus, and you've kind of given them the head nod, or now you've got another buddy or a friend on campus. Some of you have even began studying with the person who you went out and met. And for those of you who are thinking, what a weird assignment to do in an online class, you're right. However, let's think about all of the occupations that you will one day have if you stay in the healthcare field. You will be engaging daily with real humans, interacting with them, communicating them, physically touching them in rehab or in diagnosing injuries, and your abilities to not fret during small talk, to be able to introduce yourself in a way that is memorable, catchy and true, your quick little elevator speech, your branding statement is all really important. Your ability to be empathetic listeners is really important. So here at the bottom of the screen I have, remember the 4 E's. These are things that you hopefully know already, but can continue putting into practice when you engage in conversation with somebody or when you meet somebody for the very first time. Establishing that eye contact, so looking the people in the eye who you are trying to initialize or engage in conversation with. Sometimes extending your hand, doing a handshake is sometimes a thing to do, maybe at the end, thanking them for their time, exchanging some sort of information, and then engaging in conversation. So practicing your 4 E's as we continue with the art of networking and how that will help you right now and getting in internships in the future or grad school or in your future professions and vocations. So chapters 1 through 2 and the intro. The main part of the intro in chapter 1 was this. Jobs are very rarely posted. Less than half of jobs that are available are ever actually posted and hired out to people who are not known by somebody. Most jobs are hired because the managers hiring know somebody, or they know somebody who knows somebody, or they're taking personal recommendations. So with that being said, networking is really, really important because it's the people who you know, not just what you know. And then all of the other ones, practice, practice, practice. So some of you are really, really good at the art of making conversations with strangers and not being afraid of the art of small talk. And some of you need to practice small talk and engaging in conversations. So this week I've asked you, where are some places that you maybe could go and practice small talk and practice greeting people and practice engaging the 4 E's and extending your hand and doing those types of things that would be a natural environment. And then I want you to remember your branding statement, remember your elevator speech, the tribal introduction that you wrote about yourself. You had 2 situational statements, introductions, remember the quick short infomercial about yourself that will be memorable, true, and catchy, and reread them and see if, 1, will people remember you because of that, or is it too generic and too bland, and 2, is it too corny, or is it something that you would feel comfortable with? So I would really like it if you would practice it with somebody who you trust, maybe a roommate or a neighbor, or you call up your mom on the phone and you say, hey, does this sound like something I could say out loud? Because not this week, but next week, you will be practicing your branding statement with either a professor in our department or a professor in another department, because your faculty members want to get to know you. They want you to be engaged. They want to know if you are engaged. And so meeting them after class or before class, or thanking them for something that they've done, or asking them a question is just a way to get to know them. And again, to practice the art of networking and the art of random meet and greets. And then let's continue there with chapters 3 through 4. So characteristics of great networkers. So a lot of people describe great networkers as these very charismatic, extroverted, loud people. And those are all traits that can be characteristics of great networkers, but really quiet introverts can also be networkers. So in the chapters that you'll be reading to this week, you'll see an entire section on introverts and how a person's confidence really helps them with networking, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you love being out in front of everybody, but that you're really good at the one-on-one conversations and that you're really good at empathetic listening. And so for those who are really great at conversing with total strangers and don't have a fear of that, maybe this week your challenge would be to practice empathetic listening, where when somebody's talking to you, you're not thinking, what's the next thing I should say? What should I say next? What's the next wow statement? But you're actually taking in what they're saying and you're hearing them. Practicing our verbal and nonverbal body language. Our nonverbal body language is really important. We can convey up to 10,000 different cues in a minute with our nonverbal body language. So when we're initializing a conversation with somebody who we've never met before, how you hold yourself, your posture, is all really, really very important. And then here, chapters 5 through 7. So this week's reading, these are some of the things that you will be reading about. Introverts, listening, the difference between listening and hearing, and what empathetic listening really is. Keeping in touch. Who are some people from your past who you should probably stay in touch with, who you should maintain a connection with, who you should reach out and just say, hey, I just wanted to say hi and see how you are, because maybe someday you will be able to help network them or connect them with somebody, or someday they will be able to connect you with somebody. So just continuing with your expansion of networking connections that you've got. And then what are some organizations either on our campus or professional organizations that you should consider getting involved in, that maybe could help you practice your art of small talk and meeting and greeting, or would help you to continue expanding your network. And then some etiquette advice from the book about texting and emailing, which is always good to know.